Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, it's been quite a while. But nonetheless, it's time for another review. Today we'll be looking at the final audio piano Forte VIII. There are two higher models, the 9 and 10, and one lower which I can't remember the number of, but it's one that's made of plastic and looks nothing like these, but it's supposed to give you an idea of what they sound like. And that you might want that before spending the money on these. The new price of these in-ears of earbuds, if you will, is quite extreme, with the highest model going for something like $2,600 or something ridiculous. But what you're mostly paying for is the design, the final audio design, which I have to say, these are probably, and this is also why I was so interested in them in the first place, these are probably the most beautiful, well, I was about to say headphones overall ever, I think, I've seen. It's a very simple design, but I think it's very special. I don't know if I can get, there we go, it's focused there. I think they just look absolutely gorgeous, and it looks basically like jewelry of some sort. They are quite amazing. One thing you will probably notice, which is very apparent, is that they have no ear tips. They just have this very large nozzle, and that is because, well, they're not supposed to be used with ear tips. And they're quite strange in that sense, and very different from others. The reason for this is they're not supposed to create a seal, which obviously they won't, and as you might be able to tell, they have sort of vents on the side and one on the front. And this is because these are basically open headphones, except they're in pocket size. The soundstage of these headphones is like, I was about to say almost nothing I've ever heard. I think it reminds me the most of the soundstage of maybe the AKG K1000, if that gives you an idea. It's huge, it's massive, and it's very natural sounding. It sounds like the music's coming from the room you're in. It sounds probably one of the most natural soundstages I've heard. It's not extremely precise, but it's extremely nice to listen to. And it's basically the same that goes for the sound. These roll off very early in the low end and also rolls off on the high end. And they aren't extraordinarily detailed, but they are quite detailed. It's a fairly fast transducer. It's just one large dynamic transducer in a brass casing, which makes it basically a horn speaker that you can shove in your ear. And it sounds like one too. It's so nice mid-range, extremely good. Again, very natural sounding, not overly detailed, but detailed enough. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's detailed enough that you catch all the tiny sounds and cues everywhere, but it's not quite as hyper-analytic as an HD800. And the bass is, what's there is quite precise and very nice, but rolls off very, very early, like extremely early. You'll hear most acoustic bass instruments you'll be able to hear, but electronic bass, which goes below, I don't know exactly, maybe 100, 200 hertz, something like that, I'm not entirely sure, is almost entirely gone. The roll-off in the highs you won't notice as much. That's basically the same as with most Odyssey headphones, except those are in fact dark sounding, but these just roll off in a sense that makes it so they never get harsh, but the highs are there and they're detailed enough that you get the full experience, but without actually being annoyed by them, as some other headphones may do. So overall, they're just extremely pleasant to listen to. The only thing you need to keep in mind is, because of this, they are fairly genre specific. Acoustic music, very good. Classical, quite good. Not the best choice, but very, very good as well because of the concert hall sound, I think they call it themselves. Jazz can be good, except if it's something that's very, dark and powerful with a lot of sound. You probably get the idea of what I'm going at as far as the music that's good with them. Basically think if you took an open headphone, remove most of the bass, what's an open headphone best at? That's what these excel at. The build quality is quite stellar actually in most cases. The shell itself is just one solid with, actually not solid, it has a seam, but it feels like just a solid block of brass. With the cable protruding, the cable is fixed, but I've seen some people worried about this, but I've never actually heard of anyone having trouble with the cable, although it's very thin. But it has no cable noise, the cable is cloth covered, has a splitter and so on, and a nice angled small jack with a bit of recession so it can go into most iPhone cases, and which is good because these don't actually require amplification. You can use them straight from anything because they're so easy to drive. So overall, I would never recommend these at the full price, but if you could get them at maybe about $400 or somewhere around there, I'd definitely say give them a try because they are very special. I've never heard anything like them. They're quite extraordinary. That's about it. Thanks for watching and see you soon, hopefully. I have a couple of new things coming up. Remember, I'm sorry because I don't upload that many videos, but it's because I don't actually get products to review. It's only the things I get myself that I can review. So, yeah. But see you soon, hopefully. Goodbye.